Have you seen Star Wars?
Chapter 12 of The Mandalorian, The Siege, released, and it has honestly changed everything about the story of The Mandalorian that we know so far. First of all, we start off where we left off on the last episode, Chapter 11. Mando is trying to take the child to the planet with Jedi Ahsoka Tano on it, but due to his ship's damage, we have to stop by the planet from Season 1, Navarro, where Cara Dune and Greef Karga have been running things. And what's nice about going back to Navarro for me is that it feels like there's not only change in the universe, it's not the same as when we left it, but it stays connected throughout the series so far. And since most of the Empire has left, we can see a lot of changes on Navarro that, I'll be honest, I really liked that aspect of this episode. We get to see Baby Yoda put into like a little school, and I'll admit, it was kind of a surprisingly happy moment for me in the episode. It made me feel like I was not only watching something in the Star Wars universe, but it was also something very simple, kind of similar to what we had with Luke in A New Hope with the speeder. He got on a speeder and it was a big special effects moment in the world, but the movie just kind of moved past it and made it no big deal. It was as simple as getting into a car. That's what I felt like in this episode with Baby Yoda and a lot of other things. There were just small things that the show didn't really focus heavily on, but are really nice to watch and make you feel like you're immersed in the Star Wars universe. It's nice watching Mando reunite with old characters and even working with old bounties that he had in Season 1. There's a fair amount of comedic humor in this episode that landed pretty well for me, and Baby Yoda, of course, steals the spotlight whenever he is in a scene, and in a very cute and adorable way. There was a few moments at the beginning of the episode. It seems like they're not trying to focus on him too much, make sure he is just enough of the center of attention, but not letting him take away the entire story for every single episode. The mission for this episode is simply get repairs for the Razor Crest on Navarro and take out the last Imperial base on that planet. And it's the simple action and adventure episodes that work pretty well for this series so far. What catches everyone's attention is what our characters discover on this Imperial base, and I don't want to spoil what they find, but that show doesn't really tell you what they find either, so there's a lot of mystery surrounding this episode and how it will affect the future of the series. There was even music that was played during this discovery that felt similar to some darker music in the prequels. I won't say which theme that I thought of, because I don't want to spoil anything for anyone just yet, but I really did like that nice nod and touch. Then there's a big cliffhanger / reveal at the end of the episode that made anyone watching this tense up in anticipation to find out what the main villain, Moff Gideon, has planned and how Mando will deal with this great foe. This is easily one of my favorite episodes of The Mandalorian so far, and a show that constantly puts out A+ episodes. This is an arguably top 3 episode for me, and at least top 5. It feels like an actual Star Wars movie. The action felt like the original trilogy action. There are some truly cinematic moments that made me wish I was watching this show in a theater with other Star Wars fans. Fun, action-packed, adventure, while not only expanding on the Star Wars universe, but building tension and mystery around us, making the audience craving to know what happens next. I mean, honestly, what more could you want from this episode? I think it was a perfect episode. It didn't have that old space western cowboy feel to it that the Marshall episode had at the beginning of the season, the very first one, but it did have that Star Wars feeling. It made it feel really similar to the prequel trilogy in terms of pacing and action, but also it was mixed with some of that original trilogy era content. This next episode is where I think we will actually meet Ahsoka, since Dave Filoni is writing and directing that episode. But what this episode did was make the audience kind of forget about Ahsoka for a minute and remember what the real enemy of this story is, Moff Gideon and the Empire. We had to refocus ourselves on the A-plot of the entire Mandalorian series instead of focusing on all the B-plot cameos that the series has been focusing on so far. This was a great episode. If I had to give it a score, I'm going to give it a perfect 10 out of 10. That's my rating for this episode. Perfect score, and I think I've only given 3 other episodes in the series so far that rating, one being the season finale to Season 1, and then the 2 Deborah Chow episodes. So congratulations to The Mandalorian for creating another perfect episode, making me love this show even more than I already have, and kind of enjoy it more and more by each week. I mean, there's always an episode that I may not love or think is perfect, but honestly, this show has consistently been good. I don't think there's any Star Wars content that has done that. I mean, even the Clone Wars, when that came out, Seasons 1 and 2, and there's a lot of filler episodes that some people were like, meh, you can kind of skip and you won't really miss anything. And Rebels, of course, had that same kind of pattern. This show so far, though, has just consistently been amazing. I mean, there's not that many duds, in my opinion, in The Mandalorian. So tell me what your rating for the episode is below, and what did you think about Chapter 12, The Siege? Comment your thoughts below. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoy this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, because it does help out the channel. I'm Star Wars Only. I will see you all next time, and may the Force be with you, always.